Hi, welcome to RoseOpalknits, a crafty channel. This is the first cross-stitch update of 2025. So hey, how you doing? Welcome. I'm here by myself today because I'm the only one that's done any cross-stitch. Daphne is planning on cross-stitching this year, so she will be here sometimes with her cross-stitch updates as well, but today it's just me. So if you are new here, I hope you stick around, you like what you see, and you consider subscribing. And if you are returning, thank you so much for choosing to spend some more of your free time with us. I know how precious it is, and I know that there are a lot of amazing people to watch on YouTube right now, and if you are here, I truly appreciate it. If you are new, then I'll tell you a little bit about myself and this channel. Like I said in the intro, this channel name is RoseOpalknits. It's a channel that I share with my daughter-in-law, Daphne, and we are just crafty. We share a love of many crafts. The majority of our free time is spent knitting, but we also crochet, cross-stitch, we sometimes dye yarn. Daphne has dabbled in sewing and yarn spinning. Yeah, that's what it's called. And we just, like to do crafty things with the kids. And this is our space on YouTube where we share about that stuff. I am, like I said, one half. I am the mother-in-law. And a little bit about me. I am married to my high school sweetheart. We have 4 children, 3 boys. Holden is 28, Thomas is 21, and Ralph is 16. And we have 1 daughter, Mary Rose. She is 8. I am a homeschooling stay-at-home mom, and I am a grandmother to 4 children. They are super cute and they are my oldest son Holden and his wife Daphne, the other half of the channel. They have 3 boys and 1 daughter also. They are all 5 and under, and when Daphne's here she talks a little bit more about them. But we were a multi-generational household until December of 2024, and they bought a house and they moved out and they're on their own, and that has enabled me to have a craft room now. So I'm in my craft room, and here recently we have recorded our knitting and crochet episodes in this room, but usually we're over there. But the sun is coming in full force on these 2 windows right here, and this just felt like a better angle right now. All right, so I haven't done an official cross-stitch update video since I think April or May of 2024, and that is because I was working really hard. I had joined WIP Warriors and I was traveling through Australia with them and enjoying it. And then I got a notification early one morning about how a password change confirmation for Facebook that I never did. Someone hacked my Facebook account. Facebook would not give it back to me. They said I couldn't efficiently prove that I was who I said I was. And so I am done with Facebook for now. I have been since that happened. And it kind of killed my cross-stitch mojo. I mean, I still did cross-stitch here and there, but I mean, I got busy too. And I picked up 2 volunteer positions, one at church, one with my daughter's American Heritage Girls troop. So I just got busy, and and I've just kept up with regular updates that I do with Daphne here. But I still love cross stitch. It is my longest going hobby, even though, you know, I've had periods in my life where I haven't done it as much. I started cross stitching when I was 10, and so, you know, it's still something that I see myself doing until I can no longer physically do it. Hopefully that's not an actual thing, but these eyes aren't great. So, okay, I have notes, which is great. And I went back and forth with the idea of doing a whip parade. Ultimately, I've decided not to do a whip parade, mainly for time. I'm hoping this episode is fairly short. I have a tendency to ramble. But Daphne's coming over in a few hours to do our knitting update. And I still have schoolwork to finish with my 8-year-old daughter. So right now she is downstairs playing by herself. I mean, two of her older brothers are here, so it's fine. But okay, so I have been sick. We had a very bad cold go through the house, coughing, congestion, body aches, and I spent multiple days just feeling completely under the weather, achy joints. I might have to pause this video to cough. And during that time, I was like, didn't, you know, there were a couple days there I didn't feel like doing a whole lot of crafty things, but my mind was thinking about my crafty things and how I spend my time. And during that period, I did end up making some decisions. So in the last, you know, since January started, oh, I didn't say what today is. Today is Friday, January 17th. And right now it is around lunchtime, 12, a little after 12. So I made some decisions. I UFO'd 2 projects. I dekitted 1 project, and I restarted 2 projects. And I tallied my whips after doing all of that, and I am at 21 whips. And like I said, I thought about doing a whip parade, and I've decided, you know what, I think the time has passed for a whip parade. So I'm just gonna jump in with new starts, because I had a new start in November that I don't think I ever showed. I think I talked about it briefly, but I didn't show it. And I have had a new start in January, and then I have the 2 restarts, and then I have made a little bit of progress on about 5 other projects. I did take pictures of where the project was when I picked it up in this new year. So I have like beginning of the year photos that I'll pop in to show the progress that I've made so far in January. So my hope is that I'll do a mid-month update and then an end of the month update. And then that way I'll work through my whips through this year. And well, not work to them through they're finished. But I also decided to do WIPGO again this year. I have yet to have a successful year with WIPGO, but since Jessie Marie does stuff, she is the brain power behind WIPGO. Since she announces the numbers for WIPGO on Instagram, I can keep up with it that way since I'm no longer on Facebook. So I am going to talk a little bit right now. I know I have not shown anything crafty, but I'm just going to talk a little bit about why I UFO'd some projects, why I dekitted 1, and why I made the decision to restart. Part of what I was feeling, I was feeling like I had lost quite a bit of joy with several of my projects and several of the projects that I had kitted up to start. I am toying with the idea of starting 50 new things by my 50th birthday. I am currently 48 years old. I will be celebrating my 49th birthday in April and my 50th birthday in April of 2026. So I have just right now, currently, I have just enough like fully kitted and partially kitted plus a few extra patterns that I could start this month and have 50 whips. I don't want to do that. I want to do it over the course of time until my 50th birthday, and then spend like from my 50th birthday working down those whips and see how that goes. I don't know. It's just an idea I'm toying with. You can tell me in the comments if you think I'm crazy or not. I really thought about how I was feeling, and I have been spending a lot of time, you know, over the last several weeks watching whip parades. I watched some Vlogmas, or I think they're called Flossmas videos when it's just cross stitch in December, and enjoyed those. And I've always enjoyed watching two of my favorite floss tubers. I mean, I love lots of floss tubers, but two of my favorite floss tubers to watch regularly on YouTube are Stitching Mommy, Sarah, this, you know, Stitching Mommy, and oh, I'm blanking. Blushing Pink Stitches. And I'm blanking on her name, so I'll put it on the screen. And I really appreciate the variety of projects that they stitch, the amount of projects that they have that they work on, and I like really love watching their full coverage progress. And I wasn't a full coverage stitcher. I would stitch like dimensions kits that and other kits that were pretty much full coverage, but you know, not 100%, you know. I mean, some of them, like the Dimensions Golds, they are pretty much full coverage, but anyway. And Sarah had shown a pattern that she bought. Her daughter wanted to stitch it, and she was talking about how her daughter wanted to do it on 16 count, 2 threads, full X, full cross. And I went, I could do that. I could do 16 count, 2 threads, full cross. I don't love 10 stitch or half cross stitch. I feel like I make lots of counting errors when I do a lot of 10 stitching or half cross stitch. So that was one of the reasons I shied away from full coverage. Another reason was because, you know, a lot of people work on smaller counts, and I know from past projects I had done 1/1 stitching on 28 count, and that was not enjoyable to me. So I didn't really think that 25 count would be much different, and I don't really enjoy 2 threads on 18 count stitching either. I've never enjoyed 2 threads on 36 count, but I have tried it, I have done it, because that's what people do, and that's what patterns, you know, that's what designers suggest for their specific charts. And so I've done it, and I've pushed through and persevered sometimes, and I've given up other times. So I thought, well, I'm going to do that. So on Thanksgiving of 2024, I started Cozy Cabin Kitties by Cross Stitch for Everyone. Let me see if you'll be able to see this. If not, I'll pop a picture in. But there it is. And I'm using Pattern Keeper. I was already a user of Pattern Keeper, but and I just thought, I have to do that. My sister-in-law has a Maine Coon cat, and I was just visiting her yesterday, so I'll pop a picture in of me with her Maine Coon cat, and I just think that the adult kitty in that picture looks like her Hagrid. So, but anyway, so I said that I just really wanted to do this. We have recently, in early 2024, we had lost our cat. He had been with us for 20 years. And so I miss him. I'm not ready for another cat, but you know, I am a lover of kitties. So on Thanksgiving Day, I'm 14 minutes in it, and I'm just showing you, I'm just starting to show you stuff. I'm sorry. I started Cozy Cabin Kitties. Let's see, I have a board here. Do I need it? I can't really talk with the board, so I'm just going to do it like this. And so here is all my progress. I do have a string there. This is 16 count Ada. I purchased it from Amazon. I think it's Kato brand. I'm not sure. And I did lightly dye it with some tan RIT dye because one, it was super stiff, so I was going to wash it anyway. And two, I just thought, even though it's full coverage, I don't know, I just wanted to add a little bit of color to it. And I don't think it's showing up right now, but it is pretty. It's lightly, it has very light modeling. But anyway, so there it is. I'm using all DMC. And at the start of the year, where are my notes? I was at 402 stitches, which was 0.36%. And since January 1st, or since, you know, January 1st till now, I have added 288 stitches, and I'm at 0.61%. I have a goal this month to add 1,500 stitches total. So I have quite a bit more stitching to do to get to that. But this is where it is now. So that is my first step into full coverage. And I am loving the idea of it. And I'm going to put it back there. I'm not sure how I fell into this Flosstube rabbit hole, but I know that Sarah, the Stitching Mommy, had talked about temperature stitching, and I don't know if she mentioned one of the ladies, and I went to their channel to see what they talked about, but I know that I came across for the first time Leanne of Small Town Stitches and Lacey the Sleeping Stitcher. And they were talking about their temperature stitching. They did like daily Flossmas videos, and that was so fun to watch. And they're like really full coverage stitchers, and I got into it. And then through them, I think I came across Erica. Her channel name is something like Reese's Pieces something. I don't know. I'll put it on the screen. And I also found In Stitches with Ebony. So they're my newest Flosstube finds, and my current, like, I don't have time to binge watch, but when I do sit down, like, I go back to their older videos and I watch them. And now I like want to start all the full coverage. I'm not because I don't have the time or the budget right now too, but I do have plans to start a couple more this year. But that real quick, I want to talk about purchases so I can get this out of the way because it's on my notes. I did end up purchasing a bag from Erica, Reese's Pieces. She has a shop, and I purchased this bag, and it's absolutely gorgeous, and it doesn't have a project in it yet. It's got double pockets, and I thought that this would be the perfect bag for a new Dimensions kits, and I do have plans to start one of those probably in February, I'm thinking, but I haven't pulled it to show. So I've got several dimensions kits. I haven't started yet. So it's at, I think it's a dimensions gold I'm going to start. So anyway, I'm going to put that over there. All right. So the next new start for January, I started on January 2nd. And it is in this project bag that my mother bought me for Christmas from Ode to Artistry on Etsy. That is my friend Angelina. And I think this is my third bag of hers. And she doesn't always have cross stitch bags in her shop, but she does have like other, you know, cross stitch related things. And sometimes she has knitting bags in her shop. But anyway, I started hot air, I call it hot air balloons, out of this book by Doreen Jones, Let's Travel. So this is the one that I'm referring to, hot air balloons. I am modifying it. Let me see if I can find a bigger picture right here. So I love the whole thing. I mean, I love the sheep, the fields, the flowers. It's just beautiful. But I'm stitching it for my niece's son, and his nursery is hot air balloons. So I just want to stitch several of the hot air balloons and then maybe put his name or something. So I started it on 14 count light blue Aida, Artiste Swigart from Hobby Lobby. And I am using mainly classic colorworks that I bought from my local yarn store, which is Floss and Flame here in Dover, Delaware. Sorry, my daughter came in to ask if she could have some fruit. So, but any classic colorworks that I just picked from my local needlework shop, which is Floss and Flame. Their website is linked below. They do online, they do have online shopping. And then a couple of color and cotton colors. So I'm not gonna go through the colors right now, but if you would like to know what they are, you can just ask and I will let you know. So here is the progress that I have. Just part of one hot air balloon. And I haven't ironed anything, and I'm not going to, and I probably won't. And so if you really like ironed fabric, I'm sorry. I didn't even iron my sweatshirt. But yeah, so that is my progress. That is a total of 307 stitches. I did not count these half stitches that I used to outline the balloon. They will get counted once they become full crosses. So that is 2 threads over 1 on Aida. And that reminds me that I didn't tell you why I made the decision to UFO some things. So I have decided that I enjoy stitching mainly on Aida. It's easy, it's mindless, it's comfortable. It is how I learned how to stitch and how I stitched for many years. I've only been stitching on even weave and linen since 2020. And I can do it, and it's beautiful. I think linen is beautiful. Love it to look at. And I don't hate stitching on it, but it doesn't bring me that peaceful joy that stitching on Aida does. So I decided to UFO, well, let me show you the one I've dekitted. I dekitted Winter Blooms by the Blue Flower. This is beautiful. It really is. It's beautiful. I had all the suggested materials. Actually, I did it because it called for 40 count. But I have 30. I started it on 36 count Over the Moon by Color and Cotton. It's a beautiful fabric. And that is my progress. I did use all the overdyed flosses that it called for. And, but I just didn't enjoy stitching I started it with two threads over 2. I don't know why. I know I don't like that. And it just made the process not enjoyable. One day I will probably restart this project, but I don't have any plans to now. Like, I'm not on the lookout for fabric to restart it. The flosses are put back into my floss stash, and that's where we are. I'm not going to get rid of the pattern, but that's where we are. This is going to go back into the back corner of my craft closet, and one day maybe. Okay, so the 2 projects that I UFO'd, I'm keeping them kitted. I may return to them at another time in the future. I have no plans to return to them this year. So they're just out of the rotation. The first one is, I think it's called Great Tit by Tia Governor. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong. But this is it. It was a kit. I used all the kit floss, but I switched the Ada out for 32 count vintage Stormy Night. And this is my start on it. So I've got some of the branch done and some of the bird. And I just don't want to stitch on it ever. I never want to stitch on this. This is Lugana. I don't love stitching on Lugana. I think I might have said linen, but it's 32 count Lugana. And I don't know. It doesn't bring me joy. So it's UFO'd. And then the other piece that I UFO'd is Jardin Privé Opal de Gnome. And this is what it looks like. It's super cute. I had plans to like make each one of these gnomes a member of my family. My husband, me, my 4 kids, and my daughter-in-law, and my son and her 4 kids, my grandkids. And I just, again, don't enjoy stitching on it. It's on a 32 count vintage country mocha Lugana, or even weave. I'm not really sure if it's Lugana. And I don't enjoy stitching on it at all. I don't. So this is the progress that I had made on it. It has been a whip, I think, since 2020. Like, that's ridiculous. Why? So UFO'd it. I may return to it one day. I may ask Daphne if she wants to take it over. She is not currently a, she's just an Ada stitcher. She's newer to cross stitch, and she has tried even weave and didn't like it. Maybe one day she'll decide she does like it. And maybe she'll want to do it. She helped me plan out the different family members and everything. So, I'm going to throw that on the ground. And, so now let's talk. Oh, so I also, here, let me pull this up from the ground. Sorry, I'm going to bend over. This is all, well, that's got a couple of charts in it that I'm not sure I ever want to stitch. But this is all of my even weave and linen that I kept. I kept all 28 and 32 count because maybe one day I'll want to stitch on it again. I did send all of my 36 count linen, the one piece that I'd already like cut up, 40 count linen, and one piece of 46 count linen that I had in my stash. I sent that to a friend, and I'm sure she'll make lovely things with it and enjoy the process. And so I am so happy to have gifted them to her, and I can't wait to see what she does with them one day. No rush, you don't, no rush. And, but I made the decision to restart 2 projects. Oh, here I am with notes still being out of. This is the DMC I have so far for Cozy Cabin Kitties. Isn't it so pretty? Okay, now let me get this out of my way. So the first one that I decided to restart was this. This, what are you're saying? What is this, Erica? Most of my projects are in these kind of bags from Amazon. And this is This I Know by Plum Street Samplers. This I Know. It's gorgeous. I love it. I had started it on a 36 count linen. I don't think I have that information. I don't think I have what kind of linen it is. Oh, yes, I do. I had started it on, no, this is the new information. I don't know what kind of linen this is. I do know it's 36 count and it's pretty. And that is the process I had made. So not too bad because it hasn't been a WIP very long. I started it in 2024. But I hated working on it. Like every time I pulled it out, I'd only give it like 30 minutes each time because I just did not enjoy the process. So I started picking it out thinking I'd send it to my friend. And then I was like, this is taking too much time. So I'll probably just pick it out and like, you know, when I'm feeling like it here and there. And then eventually I'll send it to her, if she wants it. So I have restarted it, and I've restarted it on Corinne, which is 14 count Ada by Forbidden Fiber Co. And these are all the flosses. It is the suggested threads on the chart. So some overdyes, some DMC. And I have it on a scroll frame. I stitch with frames and I stitch in hand, and it's just whatever I feel like. I put this one on a scroll frame because it was kind of big. I kept the tension loose, and I use the sewing method to stitch that. So that is my new start, or my restart, and I didn't mark down what day I restarted it, but I am keeping a calendar this year so I can look that up. So in this, I am keeping my notes, and I restarted it on Monday, January 13th. I started with 43 stitches. So let me just show you real quick. This is how I'm keeping my notes. And I have stitched a total of 10 days out of 16. From the 1st through the 16th, I stitched a total of 10 days, and I didn't stitch for 6 of those days, mainly because I was feeling so poorly. But I did get 43 stitches in. And now it has a total of 134. So, because I managed to stitch some more on another day. I burned myself. So there's that. Did you see that? I don't even know. But it's a beautiful fabric, and that is pretty much true to color. Okay, and my other restart is in this like Trapper Keeper type thing that my friend Angelina from Ode to Artistry made for me as a gift. She hasn't had these in her shop, but she just enjoys making them and made one for me, and I love it. And I had started this project, I believe this was a 2024 start as well. And it is Always and Forever by Little House Needleworks. That is what the finished piece will look like. I had started it on a 40 count linen. And this is the piece that I cut out. And I sent the rest to my friend. But so this is proof that I can stitch on 40 count. 1/2. I just don't enjoy it. So I restarted it, and I am using the same threads that I had used on the 40 count. So this is Classic Colorworks Belle Soie in the Mer Bleu color, and I'll probably have to buy more because now I'm doing 2 threads on a 14 count Aida. And here is my restart. So I restarted this and stitched 96 stitches, and it is so nice to stitch. I mean, pulling that silk through the 14 count Aida is so pleasant. Like, I love it. And I could see really just picking this up and not putting it down till it was finished. However, it's on my WIPGO board, so I'm not going to do that because I'm going to wait till the numbers get called. But that is my restart, and it's ready to go whenever it gets called. Okay, moving on. Like I had said, I made progress on 5 other pieces. So I will have I will pop in photos of what they looked like when I picked them up for the first time this year. And the first one is Owl on a Cactus is what I call it. It's called Prickly Owl by Dimensions. This is a 2024 start as well. And I just loved it because it reminded me of my grandparents' house. These 70s greens and oranges like totally reminded me of the upstairs bedroom in my grandparents' home when I was growing up. And I don't know, it just called to me. So I wanted to start it, and I did. I'm using all the kit materials, and I worked on this an hour and did all backstitch. So the picture of where it was will have been on the screen. If it might still be there now, I don't know. But I'm going to get as much of this backstitch completed in the green area, then finish the flowers, and then do the owl last. So there's that. And then the next one I got progress on was Cosmic Turtle. I don't know if that's the name of it. I don't have a cover photo for it. It's in Pattern Keeper. I will pop a picture of it up, and then I will pop where it was when I picked it up. And I've worked on it twice so far in January, and I got a total of 193 stitches. So this is a 14 count Aida. It is from To Die For Fabrics, which is no longer in business, but it is a 14 count Aida, and it was like a one of a kind. This is a piece of it I cut off. And sometimes it's hard to see. The turtle will have a bunch of back stitching, and then the turtle will pop more. And I just stitched this one in hand. So, but it is kind of hard to see now because the colors blend so well with the fabric. This is all being stitched in Kato threads. You can buy, like, I don't know, a couple hundred colors for like $30 on Amazon. And I just wanted to go ahead and give them a try. And so that's what these are. And they're in various states of winding. I think I have, yes, I do. The white and the black I have in here are Cosmo, just because I wanted to give those a try too, because I had never tried them, and I still haven't used them yet in this piece. But yeah, this is how the Kato thread comes from Amazon. And it's okay to stitch with. I don't love it. I imagine I don't think it's 100% cotton. I think that it's got some polyester or something in it. And I can't say that I know that for certain, but that's just kind of what it feels like. And it feels a little bit fluffier than DMC. But this is the other piece of the fabric that I have, and it is so pretty, and I can't wait to find something else to put on this side. Okay. And I'm not going to give you a percentage for how far that one is because the, you know, Pattern Keeper doesn't keep track of the backstitch. So, all right. The next project I made a little bit of progress on is this it's another dimensions kit. It's called Merry and Bright Fair, right? Yep. And I'm using all the kit materials. And this is where it was when I picked it up. And this is the progress that I made all up in here. So this is a fun one. It does still have a lot of backstitch that needs to be done. I imagine that this one and Prickly Owl will be a finish in 2025, but I'm not going to guarantee it. That's just, I'm thinking they should be. But who knows? Okay. And I have two more that I made some progress on. The next one I made progress on is Dear Daughter by Blackbird Designs. I am stitching this on a 32 count linen by Forbidden Fiber Co. The color is called Forest Fairy. And this piece just fits on it. So I popped a picture in of where it was when I picked it up. And here it is now. I just worked in the border. I am still finishing up the border, and I did modify the border. So the border calls for, I think, 2 different leaf colors and 2 different flower colors. And I did all the same leaf color and all the same flower color. And I am using the DMC. Suggested on the pattern in place of the overdyes that are suggested. And those, my daughter's initials, Mary Rose. Her middle name's Elizabeth. Her first name is Mary Rose, but it's 2 words. And then that's the year she was born, 2016. So I love this project. I actually don't mind stitching on this one at all. That is one of the reasons I went ahead and kept all my 32 count linen, because I could see probably stitching on it here and there. Oh, I didn't mean to zipper that up, sorry. And the last one that I made progress on so far this month is Our Daily Bread by La Dida. And this one is also on, actually this is on a 36 count linen. And is there one called Pale Moon? I can't remember. I'm not the best note keeper, and cross stitchers don't have like Ravelry, which is a good place for me to like keep notes with my knitting and crochet. So, but the goal with my calendar or my planner is that I will have much better notes this year, so that at the beginning of 2026, I'll have, you know, more details, more stats. That's the goal. We'll see. So I'll have popped a picture in of where it was. It is completely upside down. Here it is. And oh, I worked here. I was like, I don't even remember where I worked. Right here. And I stitched a total of 68 stitches on this piece. And I imagine this one should be a finish in 2025 as well. That's just my prediction. But I am using all the called for overdyed flosses for this one. So I don't know if I said it, but I did 80 stitches on Dear Daughter. That's what I did before I put it away. So that was probably about 30 minutes of stitching. Okay, so real quick, because this hasn't been quick, but real quick, I'm just going to talk about my WIPGO. So my daughter-in-law had bought these charts for her kids when she was potty training them. And then, but she bought a pack of so many. She had a lots left over and she gave me a few just in case I wanted to use them for school or something. Well, I thought it would be good for WIPGO. So this is my WIPGO board. You'll see that I have white out. I've made changes. And that they were made after I made my decisions. So when I like restarted those, gave away linen, I dekitted some pieces that I had kitted up with linen and even weave and higher counts. And I rekitted them what I could with Ada that I had in stash. And I have plans to, you know, get more Ada along the way this year and rekit those and then make them starts. So we've had 2 WIPGO calls. I have not worked on them yet this month, but I will show them to you because they're going to be what I focused on the second half of the month. So my WIPGO goal is to complete 5 hours or 500 stitches on the called pieces. The first one I'm going to work on is a kit by Letty Stitch, and it's called Magical Horses. I call it Carousel, but it's called Magical Horses, and this is it, and I love it. And it's a paper pattern, so I'll just keep track of my hours on this one. And this is where I am. So this is where I am. Right? Yes. I'll figure it out before I start stitching, but this is where it is, and I'm using all the kit materials, and so this will get 5 hours worth of time. So the next time you see it, it'll have had progress. And my other WIPGO call was Winter Blooms by the Blue Flower, and it got called, and I immediately was like, ugh. I just closed this bag. I had them all open. Sorry. And I knew that was when I knew I needed to make serious change, because every time I thought about having to work on Winter Blooms, I was like, I do not want to work on it ever. So anyway, so I made some changes, and I tried to make it as random as possible so that I didn't just like hand pick what my WIPGO call was going to be. And if you'll notice on my WIPGO board, I even placed the numbers randomly, and then I just used a random number generator, and then, you know, placed all the things, and everything is on here twice. So I did put the number 13 here in the center, and it says an extra 2 hours on each WIP called. So an extra 2 hours or an extra 200 stitches. That's how I'm doing it in my mind when that number gets called. And then everything else is on here twice. And I'm not going to go over everything that's on it, just for time purposes, because I've already talked so much. But the other piece that ended up getting put in Winter Bloom's place, do I not have the cover photo? I do. Is Bluebirds of Happiness by JBW Designs. And is it upside down? No, it's not. So this is kind of like a sampler, I guess. I don't stitch a lot of samplers, but for some reason, when I saw this one, I loved it. Loved it. I love birds. Like, you know, we have a bird feeder. I feed birds. I stand at the window and watch them eat. But this is stitched on an Ada. And I dropped some floss. I'm using all DMC, the called for DMC on the chart. And I am stitching it on Atomic Ranch Freeze, I think is how you say that. It's 18 count Ada, and I am stitching with 1 thread. And here is where it is right now. And the next time you see it, it'll have 5 hours worth of progress. So it's kind of dark. So there it is. Okay, so I'm sorry, this is kind of a hot mess. I don't do well when I'm by myself. I feel all self-conscious. But this is, you know, my cross stitching so far for this month and my plans for the rest of the month. So hopefully I'll be back at the end of the month with an end of the month update. And if you have any, oh, I didn't mean to zipper that up, sorry. And if you have any questions, please just leave them below in the comments. And if you would like, Rose Opal Knits has a Discord group. It's free to join. And we do have a text channel that's just devoted to cross stitch. If you wanted to join and chat in there, I'd love to have you there. And okay, thanks. Bye.